Hello visionaries and welcome to our channel. I'm Raquel of Raquel and Davidian, Unleash Your Genius, and a lot of you have been asking for more information about being a projector. I get it. In this video, we're going to be talking about the distinctions and the differences all within the type projector. There are different categories and I'm going to go over those in this video. Welcome to the uniqueness of the projector. In this video, we're going to explore the differences and the magic of the various types of the projectors in human design. Not all projectors are made alike. So what I'm trying to say here is that depending on how your channels are set up, you might behave very differently from other projectors. And projectors actually need a little bit more information than other types because they have a harder time absorbing the information. They need to master it. It's not that they have a harder time absorbing the information. It's just that they need to go all the way through it. They really need to master this intel. And there really is no other tool out there that helps a projector as much as human design. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 categories of projectors. So pull out your charts, projectors, and let's go a little bit deeper and see if this can help you understand on a deeper level the uniqueness of your particular inner authority and your type. The founder of human design, Ra Uru Hu, has said that the mental projector is more different from the energy projector than the manifestor is to the projector. So what this means is that we often get clumped together in type. As a projector, you learn how to wait for the invitation. You learn that you might not have as much energy as other people. You're not really designed to work in a traditional 9-to-5 situation. You learn to wait until you're recognized before you speak, but you do get clumped together with other projectors. And yet, depending on the channels that you have defined, these channels will categorize you into very, very different ways of being and very different types of projectors and people. And so it really helps to understand these distinctions and to know how your particular type will work and what the nuances are of this aura type. So the first one we're going to go over is the mental projector. Don't use your smarty pants mind for your own decisions. So what this means is that the mental projector is oftentimes quite intelligent and has relied on their mind and their intellect for a lot of uses. And in particular, we're taught to use our mind to make decisions about our life. Now, for the mental projector, this can be detrimental. The mind is to be used for the other. It's referred to as an outer authority, meaning that you can see things for other people. You might have guidance for them. You might be able to lead and direct them in certain ways, but you're not supposed to use this for your own inner decision making. Now that can be super confusing because this is an incredible skill that you have. The mind is an incredible resource. However, you don't want it to lead and direct your life, and yet you may be referred to as a mental projector, or perhaps on your chart it'll say none. But these are referring to the same thing, is that the inner authority is not there. It's based on a different way to make a decision. Now, the distinction here is that even though you're a mental projector, or even if it says none, you're not here to use your mind to tell you which direction is best for you. And if you've studied your inner authority at all, then you know that you need to talk things through. And as you talk them through, the resonance of what is correct for you will begin to make sense. Primarily, it'll be after you've had recognition, after you've waited for the invitation, then you speak it out. And I've heard other mental projectors call this blah, 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 meaning they just need to let it out. They just need to talk, and they just have to feel the resonance within them, and then the guidance system begins to direct the ship. So if you're a mental projector, or if it says none in your chart, then you really need to find that distinction of how the mind should be used to help guide, lead, and direct others once you've been recognized and invited to do so, oftentimes in areas that you've already mastered, that you really know very well, and people are coming to you for your guidance. You'll get turned on, you'll have energy, you'll be able to lead and direct them with the power of your mind and your insight. But that is for other people, not for yourself. And that's the distinction that the mental projector must make. So it can be a little bit challenging because you'll notice that the mental projector is going to have no definition here beneath the throat. They're either going to have the throat, ajna, or head defined. And so that means that you can really take on the energies of the collective consciousness. You can take on the motorized sacral, you can take on the conditioning of the planet, and that can be very confusing. It can drive you, it can push you, it can force you to make decisions that are not that you, when you haven't waited for the invitation or the recognition, it'll fuel you to tell people what you see about them when it's not right timing. And so you can really see what's correct for others, but if there's a pushing or a force, and you're blurting out what's correct for others before you've been invited, you're going to experience a lot of pain and bitterness and sorrow for not being recognized for your own genius. So there's an art form here, and you really do need to decondition from the world around you so that you can really feel the difference of your own energy and what you might have been taking on and thinking that it's you. So now let's talk about the classic projector. The classic projector is going to have definition beneath the throat here, but no defined motor. And that includes the root, the solar plexus, or the ego, obviously, or the sacral. You wouldn't be a projector if you had that sacral. So if anything else is defined here beneath the throat, then you're what we call the classic projector. Now, this can have a beautiful impact on your life as a projector, or can have a painful impact on your life as a projector. Because you don't have a motor, that means that you're going to really absorb and amplify the energy of those around you. Now, because you don't have a motor, you're also going to be able to distinguish more easily the energy, whether it's yours or other people's, and whether it's correct for you or not. And you'll also really be able to sense that when you're taking on the energy of the people around you, it can either give you power or it can be your poison. So you're either absorbing and amplifying the energy that feels toxic and can either, drain you, make you feel sick, make you feel depleted or unrecognized, really give you that sense of bitterness, or you're going to feel enlivened, excited, and empowered by the energy of the people around you. So you need to be really careful about what you're drawing in. And as a leader, you're going to be able to draw that in and lead, guide, and direct people because you're pulling in and you're sensing the unique gifts of the people around you. You can sense those gifts and really, guide and direct them and bring the best out in people. And that's what makes you an incredible leader. However, if you're not leading the right people, it's going to really be painful, incredibly toxic, incredibly painful, and cause a lot of pain. So just some things for the classic projector to be aware of. So the classic projector could be splenic, but also could be a self-projected projector. So if you have the yellow diamond here colored in, you could also be a classic projector. So you can see those in a couple of different dynamics. And you might see somebody here with this self-directed, being a classic projector and experiencing things similar to a splenic projector. Even though they have different inner authorities, they both will experience this in the same way. The other thing is you have to understand, however, that each channel is going to really distinguish the projector. You're here to be known for those channels, so you really want to make sure that you know what you're here to be known for, so you can really make sure that you're getting a correct invitation. Next, we're going to talk about the energy projector. So this is going to be any projector that has a motor defined in their chart. And the motor is going to be this little red square here, the ego center. It will be this right triangle here, or the bottom triangle, which would be the root. So when you see an energy projector, I hate to say this, but this is actually one of the most challenging configurations for any of the projectors, because the energy projector has a little bit more energy and more fuel than the other types of the projector. And so they will find themselves having focus and energy to create what they want. And especially in this world of manifestation and making your dreams a reality and just do it, you're going to find this energy projector feeling like they know what to do, because they do. They can watch and see how other people do it and have a better insight on what to do. And then they go and push and make something happen because they have the energy to do it. And it's not correct for them. They haven't been invited. They're not really recognized, and everything can get wiped out from beneath them very quickly. They will become very bitter. They will not be recognized for what they created. Their ideas can be stolen. They could be completely burned out to the point of illness. And so this energy projector, imagine you have a fuel or a motor that's super loud, and that motor can be louder than your inner authority. So in particular, with the configuration we see here on your screen, is this particular projector is a splenic projector, but they have the motor of the ego. And the ego is very loud, it's pushy, it wants to make things happen, it's driven, it can be financially driven. And that is not the spleen. The spleen is very subtle, it's very light, it has a very small little source of information. And so the motor is louder than the spleen. And the motor can control the direction and make things happen. And it's a very tricky configuration. It can be very painful, especially if people don't really understand their design. This can be incredibly painful. Once you learn how to surrender to your true inner authority and allow yourself to wait to be recognized and wait for the invitation, once you really get that, it can be life-changing, game-changing, and all of a sudden you will have more energy. You will come alive. You will be able to manifest things, but sometimes it takes a slowdown and a mastering of new skills and waiting until those things really start to take off for you. So I hope that helps with the distinction. I'm going to make a little bit more, I'm going to have a little more distinction here when I talk about the emotional projector. Now, technically, the emotional projector is going to be in the category of the energy projector. So what that means is that once they have this emotional center defined, then they become an emotional projector, and yet they are an energy projector because the emotions are technically a motor. They're also an awareness center, so it's a little bit different than the other motorized projectors, in that the emotional projector is going to have to wait to feel out the emotions, and that's a very that's a 24-hour cycle before you say yes to any invitation. And you really have to get good at feeling all of your emotions. Now, this might be an easier energy center than the other motors, simply because it is your inner authority. So what that means is that the emotions are going to be the thing to listen to guide you. So even though they're loud and they have energy, it is what you're here to use to make decisions after, of course, you've ridden out the highs and the lows and you've come to some sort of neutrality. Now, this particular projector here is going to have a different type of issue, simply that they have this split here, this wide split between their head and their emotions and their willpower. So they might have a battle here between their will and how the emotions are controlling that will, and their intelligence and their mind. And so this is a particularly interesting configuration. Again, like we said at the beginning, projectors are very different from each other. So when you're learning about your type and you're a projector, it is important to go a little bit deeper to understand your unique category, your channels, and this will really help you sort through the nuances of being a projector, since they are very different from each other. So a lot of you have been asking how to utilize this information for your businesses, or how to utilize this in order to really have a practical life. Sometimes it feels really hard to wait for the invitation and have a job and pay your bills. And so we do have a couple of programs specifically designed to assist you with learning this material and integrating it into your life for success. We have the Mystical Mindset Power Boost. It really helps, especially for projectors, and I'm going to put a link below. And that's for really any career, any job, anything that you need support with. We also have the Biz Initiation, which is designed for people who have their own business or entrepreneurial efforts. And for those of you who are doing that, you may really want to look into that particular program. And Davidian and I are here to guide you through all of our programs and any support that you might need. So thank you so much for being part of our community. If you liked this video, please press like and share it with your friends, especially with people who you need to learn more about projectors, and or your friends who are projectors, and or family that don't really get you. This will help them understand you on a deeper level. So I hope this has been helpful for all of you. I love sharing this intel. I love your feedback and your comments. It's really wonderful to hear your own experiences through this work. So also, if you have suggestions for any videos, please let us know. We do try and respond to requests. All right, everybody, have an amazing day, and I will look forward to seeing you on our next video.